I've been translating energy since I was 7 years old, probably even younger. I just can't remember. My name is Bronwyn Jane, and I'm a psychic medium and the founder of the Psychic Mediumship College. I grew up in country New South Wales, Australia, in the bush, isolated. My best friend was my grandfather. When I was 7 years old, he suddenly passed away. Everyone was shocked. I quickly realized that I could still see him, hear him, and connect and communicate with him. I hadn't lost my best friend. I didn't understand why everyone was so upset. I would share what I was experiencing, what he was saying, where it was with my grandmother and mother, because I could see how much they were crying. And as a 7-year-old, I was trying to help, trying to get that to stop. We had a strong faith. We went to church every week. And our faith taught us that talking to someone that had passed away was the devil's work. You weren't talking to them, you were talking to the devil. That only the chosen ones in the Bible got to experience that, no one else. That wasn't my reality. My reality was that I could still talk with my grandfather. I could still hear him. He could hear me. When I shared this with my mother, she told me I was making it up. It wasn't real. She also said to stop doing it because I was upsetting the family. That what I was saying was scaring them and making them upset. As a 7-year-old, I processed that as what I experience isn't real. My truth is not real. That what I say upsets and scares people, people that I love. Everything changed. Now, I don't blame my mother. She was doing her best at that point in time, based on the references she had. But it was a pivotal moment for me. I still experienced my grandfather, and over time, other ancestors too. I didn't share it though. That's what changed. I became an introvert. I didn't share what I experienced, how I felt, what I thought. Because as a 7-year-old, I was given the belief system that those experiences are not real, scare people, upset people, that I scare people, upset people. That was now my navigation system as I went through life. It impacted school and it impacted my career. It impacted relationships, not only with my family, but also friends, because I could never truly share everything because I had this belief system. It was as if I went through life in the dark. I still knew things that other people didn't know. I could still give them guidance based on what I knew, but I could never say where it came from. I used to be called a know-it-all from my family because I knew things, and that's what they would say. I would have dreams and things would come into the reality. Sometimes they were international events that would be on the news. I couldn't share it though. I didn't truly understand how I knew these things. I thought everyone knew them. I didn't realize it was different. I didn't realize that people didn't know what I knew, didn't experience what I experienced. As if everything was amplified, that feelings were amplified, the hearing was amplified, that I was sensitive to things that other people weren't sensitive to. I didn't appreciate that that wasn't everyone else's normal. It was mine. I used it to my advantage to navigate life. As I said, it was like going through the darkness. So I knew when people would be lying to me. I knew when in relationships, the other person, if they weren't being truthful, if they had done something. And so I knew the questions to ask. I knew how to make certain choices because life had shown me when I didn't trust this knowing and this wisdom and what I was getting shown, that things wouldn't work out for me. So sometimes I didn't do it because I had, remember, as a 7-year-old, that belief system that what I experienced wasn't true, wasn't correct, was wrong. So sometimes I wouldn't listen to it. But the times that I did, things worked out for me. And so I would apply it to others more than I would apply it to myself. But when I did apply it to myself and use it as I would gift it to my friends, life was easier. I knew who to trust, who to be around and with, how to make decisions. Then, in my 30s, I was gifted a son. And once he started to communicate, I realized that he was the same as me. I didn't make him special. He would say interesting things and we would have interesting experiences, but what I wanted to do was to make it normal. I made a conscious choice that I was going to make his experiences normal for him, something that I didn't get. I then needed to understand it. So in my 40s, I started learning in a formal sense. I would go to anything that I could. Prior to my 40s, I didn't even know what a medium was. I didn't know what I was. Didn't even have a point of reference. I had a friend that would take me to see shows of mediums, and I would watch them and go, that's like what I experienced. That was my first point of reference, that they were like me. I'd never encountered that before my early 40s. Only my son. So I started to realize that it was other people like me. And what I did was not strange. It was not the devil's work. I wasn't talking to the devil. But this was something. And so my quest for learning continued and went for 15 years and continues to this day. As I understand energy, understand the biology that goes with the energy translation, and that it's normal. I needed to really grasp who I was. My intention for learning was never to read for a stranger or to teach. My intention for learning is to, one, to understand myself, but also remember I wanted to parent consciously. I didn't want to muck him up. Now, have I managed to tick that off? Probably not. I've probably mucked him up a bit, just differently. So I went to circles. They are groups of people that come together and practice translating energy. I did that for 5 years, sat in circle. And my whole intention was that I could take my son and he could learn it and I would witness and support him. But as I went along that journey, my abilities became more. And I was forced to practice, to do readings. Didn't want to. I was used to being small, hiding, introvert, not telling people what I could do. But I found myself in this space where, as trying to be a good mother, I then had to own this aspect of me in a more public way. a way that I had hidden for decades. And the reason why I hid it for decades was that as I wandered through that darkness, I struggled with aspects of mental health and acceptance. There were really dark days as I went through there because there was a part of me that was missing, that I couldn't fully accept, left a hole in me. So I found myself in circle in my 40s and doing exercises and practicing, and I didn't really want to do it. After years of doing it, the teacher said she was running an event to allow us to showcase our work. There was no way I wanted to do this. Everyone else were like so excited. They're like, yeah, I can't wait. This is awesome. Yeah. That's what they were like. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. They try to do peer group pressure. Doesn't work on me. Didn't happen. The teacher then said to me, I will ring you later on and decide then. So time went by and she rang. And I don't know what happened, but in here it was no. It was like there was a short circuit because out of here, when she asked me, was I going to do it? I said yes. Once it was out and realized what happened, I said to her, only give me one practice reading. She said, okay. The day came and I went to the practice day. She gave us a piece of paper with all the people that we were going to read for. I took it and I looked at it. I said one. There's 6 on here. She said to me, everyone's name was just written down and people wrote their name under the reader that they were drawn to. 6 people want to work with you today. I did that, a big breath in, and started the day. Everyone was different. And at the end of that day, I understood why people did this. The feeling that you get when you can be of service and connect someone with their loved one in spirit. I then decided that I would do it more, remembering that it was never my intention to read for strangers. But after that experience, I understood the gift that you were giving people and the energy that we got back in exchange.